On this episode, I'm going to discuss The Fox and the Grapes, part of the Aesop's Fables collection. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is R.E. On this episode, the first one in the Aesop's Fables series, I'm going to be talking about The Fox and the Grapes. And just a short outline for how this series is going to go. I'm going to basically paraphrase this story. It's a very short story, and then give my analysis, maybe try to glean some lessons. So, The Fox and the Grapes. How this story goes is a hungry fox sees a delicious bunch of grapes. They're hanging on a vine high above him, and he can't reach them. But he tries his best to jump up and grab them, but they're out of reach. There's no use. He couldn't reach the grapes. They were too high up. So he gave up trying. He started walking away, and as he walked away, he said, "I thought those grapes were ripe, but now I see they are quite sour." And the moral of the story that it gives is that it is easy to despise what you cannot get. I really enjoy this one. This is the first one. It is easy to despise what you cannot get. How many times in our lives have we been going after some type of mission, some type of goal to get something, and then when we can't get it, we feel salty. We feel like it wasn't even worth it in the first place. And that's also the thing about these fables, is that there are many different interpretations that you can have. You can take it many different ways. I think that one, you shouldn't be despising what you cannot get. The fox saw these really ripe grapes and wanted them, but why does he have to despise them? Why can't he go looking for other grapes that are not as high up? On another angle from it, why can't the fox maybe devise some plan to climb up somewhere and get these grapes? What is stopping the fox from getting these grapes? And then applied to your own life, what is stopping you from getting these metaphorical grapes? What are some examples of these metaphorical grapes that we have in our own lives? It may be a relationship. You may have wanted to go out with a certain guy or girl, and they may have rejected you, and you might despise them because you cannot get them. That's just one simple example. Maybe it's a dream job that you had. You had this dream job, these grapes high above you, and you didn't realize that to get to that dream job, you may have had to have other stepping stones. And then you just applied to that job first, and when you didn't get it, you said, well, I thought that job was good, but that job was just not for me. It's easy to despise what you cannot get. It is easy to despise what you cannot get. And I think this message hits deep. I think it hits home, at least for me. And that's what makes these fables so powerful, is that in basically a 20 to 30 second story, you can outline some scenario that you can then basically project onto other aspects of your life. So the story is about a fox and grapes. Obviously, foxes can't talk. We don't understand what they're saying. But I can read the story and say, wow, I understand how I could apply this to my life. I understand that if I don't get something, it doesn't mean that I should despise it. It should mean that maybe I should think about what it is I really want. Why did I want those grapes? Why did I want that relationship? Why did I want that job in the first place? And this introspection is why I love these stories and why I bought this in the first place and why I'm doing this series. So as we go along the rest of the series, I invite you to introspect on, first of all, the story and how this story could apply to your own life. How this simple moral, for the first one, it is easy to despise what you cannot get. What is there something that you can't get or that you think is out of reach? What are those high grapes, the high vine in your life? And since you haven't gotten them yet, are you going to give up on that? Is it not a worthy goal anymore? Why did you want them in the first place?